Now let's see what that dragon-type evolution we've been hyping up actually is.
Welcome to episode 31.
Are you ready to hear the same music again and again and again? It's a nitpick, but you know, it's just
of the new evolutions.
Oh man, it's a cloud.
But before we do that, in the last episode, you took down Topher, the rock-type Elite Four member, and his Gemion. You got another access code,
I'm sure
but
it was
you
a
still
good
need
battle.
one more if you want to get into that locked elevator and travel down to stop Professor Ginkgo's schemes.
All we have to do is fight a dragon. How hard could that be? They've only been the Elite Four champion twice, maybe 3 times.
With no time to waste, you
no,
burst into the last lab. Amy,
Cynthia doesn't
the
really count,
dragon-type
but
head researcher, swooshes her cape melodramatically and
I like her tattoo. I was a little iffy on her from the get-go, but the moment I saw that tattoo, it's like, no, she's good. She can stay.
The terrifying might of my dragon Pokémon.
Amy
Not a lot of tattoos in the Pokemon world, at least not many I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure it's because it's like more difficult to code and stuff like that, but you know, it would be cool to see more of.
For Drakento, and then
tattoos aren't for me, but I love looking at them.
Are both tanky and take some time to get through.
Naturally.
She then follows up with 2 newly restored fossil Pokemon.
Oh boy, here we go.
First up,
Tyrantrum.
Our tiny little dragon-type Tyrunt.
Oh my! One of the
T-Rex
pictures is eating another dinosaur.
Tyrantrum is a pretty solid design, and
but will it be as dumb as Roy in the Dinosaurs TV
compared
series?
To some of the other fossil Pokemon. This design is going to be about 2 main things. Firstly, we're taking the rage burning inside Tyrantrum and having that manifest as a new fire typing. So we'll need to communicate
Dragon fire type, nice.
And secondly, there are still a couple tweaks to make. Now, the things to cut right away: the beard. All right, I always hated the beard.
I think Tyrantrum's a pretty solid design, personally.
The design look more like a king, but whatever. That thing had to go. And same goes for the crown.
Fair enough. Your
We're
redesign.
not going to get rid of it completely.
Because it's a crown, he's king.
Simplify it down to 3 points instead. The original crown, just felt a little cluttered up there. In my opinion.
Guess, but hey, it's your opinion and your mon at the end of the day.
Collar of feathers and turn that into a collar of flame.
That's cool, like a Typhlosion before it got a 3D model.
We now know that adult Rexes weren't covered in long feathers, as it most likely just had a fine, short layer of proto-feathers. Think of the wee bit of hair that an elephant still has, even though, they're so big.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
I still wanted to show that the Rex did have at least some form of short feathering. So, we're going to cover that
I mean, it does make sense with the
unique
shade and stuff like that.
The colors...
why do humans have hair on the top of their head?
And I do love how keeping the face white
and stuff
makes it feel like a flaming skull, which is, it's pretty awesome. And by coloring lightly inside of the mouth, you can almost feel that fire that is burning inside of it.
I like this design, though. This is a cool design.
Let's take a look at Primal Tyrantrum, the Fire King Pokemon. This regal Pokemon focuses its rage into an intense internal fire. The feathers along their back are coated in a fine
shiny design.
Ash.
I know it's based off the original, but kind of just like you freaking swap colors it away.
By striking fear into all other Pokemon. They have much more control over their temper now and help little Tyrunt to manage their own anger. And its ability is Strong Jaw, and that increases the power of all fighting moves by 50%.
It fits.
Tyrantrum is a well-balanced special attacker. And though
good luck beating it
isn't quite as high, the Strong Jaw ability means that it is still able to deal a lot of damage with its ferocious mob.
I'd imagine so.
This thing doesn't care who it faces, it will damage everybody.
Nom.
But you do manage to knock it out. Amy follows up with her second restored fossil Pokemon. And this will
Armaldo?
With all of the
I knew that was going to be
the
evolution, but no.
Alright, I love little Anorith so much, and I felt like it deserved a real kick-butt evolution in our region. There is a typing that I've always felt.
Remember when Cyndaquil finally evolved into Quilava, only to tie with freaking Armaldo?
In that direction, just enough to justify.
I feel like it could at least won that battle and then immediately got knocked out to the next one,
extending the snout
Or finally
just a
evolves,
little bit,
only
and
ties,
adding
and then
some
it's like
fangs
never
that
seen
really
again
feels
except for like
comic.
background shots.
Changing the placement of the eyes is also going to make it feel a little bit less buggy. Next up, we'll be changing and simplifying some
At least
of
you
the
got the blast off
patterning
Team
and
Rocket,
plating
I
on the
guess. It's better than
underside,
absolutely nothing.
so that it
You know,
feels
blast off Team...
more
Ah,
like the
I'm bitching about
lighter
nothing.
underbelly of a dragon. I mean, it's still obviously armored like a bug, and the arms are, sticking out of the plating just the same, but we're going to slide dragon where we can. Lastly, the weird scale feather things on Armaldo's neck are going to drop down under the back coverings.
This is a much
lets me squish them together
different
into something
design
that
to the
feels
original.
more like a
I know that's kind of the point, but
while
it's
still
like,
feeling
are you
bug-like.
sure this is
I
the
mean,
same
especially with
Pokemon
them
in a
being
way?
able to pop out from under the back covers, like a beetle. But yeah,
This does leave the question
that's
just like
the
what
balance
happened.
of bug and dragon that it needed. The color palette was easy enough to find here with some
I do like the
classic
design, just
dragon
calling this thing
colors coming
Armaldo
in.
feels
And
kind
course,
of weird,
as
you
with
know?
all of the previous Primal Fossil designs, its shiny
Look,
will also be based on the original
Colin's
design.
a bit more
Okay,
Zatu as well.
let's check out the final correctly restored fossil Pokemon, Primal
Really makes you
Armaldo.
question, like, how'd they
plate
bork it so
Pokemon.
bad in the
Researchers were
restoration?
surprised to see dragon-type characteristics
I
present
think the blue
in
design
Primal
looks
Anaerith's
better than the
evolution.
green, but I appreciate you
This
trying
Armaldo's
something
armor
new with it.
plates
The
are
green doesn't
somehow
look
even
bad, just
stronger than
personal
its
preference.
rock-type counterpart. Its fangs, claws, and tail are all deadly weapons. When this Pokemon
The sun
summons
is a deadly
rain, it is said
laser.
to become unstoppable. And its ability is Swift Swim, which is to reference the fact that the original inspiration for these animals is aquatic, and that doubles the
I
Pokemon's
see.
speed during the rain. Primal Armaldo has terrible special defense that you are hoping to take advantage of, but after it sets up the rain, it begins speedily sweeping through your team.
Oh, great.
You
More
eventually
problems.
pull through and knock it out, though. But you are left with a single Pokemon as Amy sends out her ace.
And now here we are.
It's time for us to fill in the very last unused evolution type, Dragon.
Dragion.
Here's another difficult type to incorporate into an evolution. Kind of like Bug, the overall characteristics of the type don't gel particularly well with the mammalian look of Eevee.
Yeah.
In this case, most people just tend to slap some horns and dragon wings on it and call it good. But
Pretty
I wanted
much.
to avoid the wings entirely, as this is a dragon type, not a flying type, and since our flying type evolution doesn't have wings, I didn't want there to be any confusion about which is which. And instead of just, adding horns, I wanted to challenge myself, alright, by somehow still introducing that reptilian
Had to
feel
throw everything
into
out
the
and start
design
from
without
scratch,
slapping
dang.
stuff on the head. As you can see, I played around quite a bit with the pose
Yeah,
and the body plan.
You kept hitting
Again,
reset.
it's just really tough to find the right balance.
I
of
guess that's
features.
true. I mean, you gotta get the
Oh, and in
pose
the end,
just
I felt
right to look
comfortable
right.
Changing the feet ever so slightly to look as if they have talons. This is different from all of the other evolutions, but I think it's fine here. And giving a tail, similar to Vaporeon, but of course with a different end, gave it a familiar but, vaguely draconic silhouette. I couldn't get the idea of whiskers out of my head, paying homage to the various Asian dragons.
Yeah, they like their
so I
whiskers
popped
on their
those
dragons,
there
and
as
I
well.
like them too,
I
to
felt
be
it was
fair.
important. What with this being Pokemon
Shenron
and
looks
all, for
awesome.
the dragon not to feel too much like a dragon from the West. This proved to be the right choice. And the fluffy mane seen on
You
Asian
go a bit
dragons
more East
let me
inspired.
add tufts of
Nice.
fur to the legs and tail. This fuzz is a great way to bridge the mammalian and reptilian features together. And just to further tie things together, when it came to color, I was able to give the suggestion of scales with all of these extra little markings. The colors
Bro did a
didn't
really
take
great
me
job.
forever to finalize. There was already enough going on with the design, so I knew that the color palette would need to read as clean and simple as possible. That's why in the end, though I had been toying around with 3 different colors, I eventually changed one of those to white to really limit the palette.
Fair
and
enough.
To pay respects to the influence, our shiny is reds and golds like a Chinese dragon.
Which we were just
Alrighty,
looking at, I imagine.
Let's finish up the evolutions with Drakeon.
Pretty much.
The fierce Pokemon.
Dang.
This dragon-type evolution is particularly difficult to train.
I'd imagine so. It's quite the design for it. I love the whiskers and the
all
tail.
but the most skilled trainers.
The coloring with
Its
the green and the
draconic
red
appearance
looks a
was
little
initially
weird, but
thought to be
and it's not a
unnatural,
deal breaker
but
for me, you know?
Researchers suggest this evolution may be more akin to an ancient Eevee ancestor's.
To be fair, I also don't know what to fix
and its
about it.
ability
Just,
is
I don't know.
multi-scale, and that reduces damage taken whenever HP is full. Drakeon's ability lets it take a hit, no problem.
It looks a bit better in
while it
motion,
sets
though.
up a dragon dance, further boosting its formidable attack and speed. This is by far the most ferocious evolution that you have come across.
No
To
duh.
Amy's surprise, you are able to fell her ace.
Probably just barely.
She heals her Drakeon, clumsily scoops it up into her arms, and approaches you.
Aw.
Very impressive. I never expected you to earn this, but somehow you did.
I certainly had faith.
That's it. You have all 12 access codes needed to get into the elevator.
But there's
to Kinko's
16
lab.
needed in that one gate. That
As you
still lives
leave,
in the back of my
Amy
head
smiles
rent
at
free.
you, and her Drakeon grumbles and nods its head in approval. You hop into the
Okay, that was
centrally
cute,
located
Diddley.
elevator and scan your ID badge to descend. But we will pick up with
Of
Kinko's
course we
secret
will.
lab in the next
Go
episode.
figure.
Thank you all so much for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As
All of them
always,
look
I
good.
would love to hear your
The
thoughts
Armaldo,
on
I
today's
think, actually
episode
takes
down in
it,
the comments
those because
below,
of how
especially
insane the
since
design
we
is.
just finished up with all of the fossil
It,
designs
again, it
and
just
all
kind
of
of feel
the
weird to call it an
evolutions.
Armaldo, but it
A
still
big
looks really
thank
cool.
you
It looks
to
more
my
like a Drudigan
best
in a
friend
way.
Amy for voicing the Dragon-type Elite Four member.
Nice.
And her dog, Badger, for voicing Drakeon.
Oh, that was an actual dog.
see you all in the channel
Nice. I thought it was
in
just
the
some
next
guy
episode.
growling into a
Bye.
bike, which again, to be nothing against, but just like you got an actual dog to it. That's cute. I like that. It's adorable. The dog got a voice actor role as well, or actress, or whatever it is. But yeah. Again, I think Armando takes this one. It looks, again, more like a Drudigan, but it's not the end of the world with it. Bag. The Tyrantrum is pretty awesome too. I like the idea that it's more like a Typhlosion a bit in the old days. And the Drakeon looks great. So just like some really cool dragon in this one. We finally get the end of the evolution cycle and the original fossil Pokemon. So, I wonder where we're gonna go from here. Probably more story, so I don't really have much else to say, really. So, I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.